Hello, my name is Derrick G. Hamlin, and welcome to the next installment of my video blog. Please remember, I am not your father's attorney. Now this week we'll be answering a question from a Morgan State University student. And she asks, should I co-sign for a car for my sister? And for me, the answer is always going to be no. But let me tell you why. When you co-sign for someone, what you're saying is, if they don't pay back their loan, I guarantee that I will. You don't own the car, but you're accepting all the responsibility for paying it back as if you did. Now, let's just say, for example, something happens to our sister and she's gone. She might be arrested, she might pass away. Her boyfriend could be driving around that car that you're never allowed to use, and you're still responsible for paying it back. If we get sick, we can't guarantee that we'll be able to pay our own bills. So why would we take responsibility or guarantee that someone else is going to pay their bills? It doesn't make sense. Many of us probably would not take out a loan where we were required to pay $500 a month for 5 years. Still, we'll co-sign for someone else to do it. It doesn't make sense. In fact, even God said it doesn't make sense. In Proverbs chapter 17, verse 18, it says, "One who lacks sense pledges security for a neighbor." God is telling you it doesn't make sense to co-sign for someone else. And it doesn't. The Supreme Court has ruled that the liability of a co-signer is no different than that of a borrower. You are on the hook, according to the supreme law of the land. Most co-signers end up paying back the entire loan or the remainder of what the other person chose not to pay. If you decide not to listen to my advice and you're going to co-sign anyway, you might as well buy a car for your sister, because that's what you're going to wind up doing. Our next question comes from a delivery person in Prince George's County. And their question is, what should I be concerned about after a car accident? Well, the first thing you want to do is exchange information. You're required by law to exchange information. You want to get their name, their insurance information, their license number, and write down the plate number of the car. Make and model as well. I once had a client who was rear-ended. He got out the car, looked at the back of his car, it had 2 little scratches. He said, "I'm good, man. You can go on." The guy pulls off to the right, he pulls off to the left, and within a mile, his car starts making a crazy noise. He takes it to the dealership, and the dealer says, "When that car hit you, it must have hit your tailpipe and snapped your exhaust in half in the middle." His bill was over $1,000, and he had to pay it himself because he did not get the other driver's insurance information. I also suggest you call the police and get a police report. The next thing you want to do is take pictures. You want to take pictures of the damage to the car, the position of the car, skid marks, lighting, what the street looked like, witnesses, who the driver of the car is, and the weather conditions, whether it's rainy or snow, potholes, anything you think that would be important for the investigation of your case. I had one case where there were 3 people in a car. All of them were taken to the hospital, but none of them wanted to admit to being the driver that hit my client and totaled her car. So we just sued them all. And the other 2 were quick to tell us that this person was driving. The third thing you want to do is make sure you go to the ER. Many of my clients are in accidents and they feel perfectly fine until they get home or until the next morning. It's very similar to working out, or even if you've ever played a contact sport, let's say football, you might not feel the soreness until well after the game, during that night, maybe the next day. That's how these injuries work. The next thing I want to talk about is many men especially try to minimize their injuries. I had one client, he was a professional football player, and he is probably one of the toughest guys I know. So if you ask him if he's ever in pain, he will tell you no. He could have broken his leg and had the bone poking out through his skin, and you ask him how he's doing. "Oh, I'm okay. I felt worse than this. I could probably walk it off." Don't do that. It doesn't help your case. It doesn't help your treatment or diagnosis. Be honest. Don't exaggerate. Don't minimize just because you're a tough guy or girl. The last thing I want to talk about is hiring a good attorney. You want to hire an attorney that knows what he's doing, who's handled your type of accident before. So don't be afraid to ask your attorney, how many cases have you handled? How many cases have you tried? Do you have any jury verdicts? Attorneys love to talk about their verdicts. Clients come in and I tell them the very first car accident case I ever tried, a Prince George's County jury gave me a 6-figure verdict for a college student. Why is that important? It's important because not only do I tell it to potential clients, but I'll also tell it to insurance companies to let them know I am not afraid to try cases. And more importantly, I win cases. I win big cases. Well, I hope you found this video blog entertaining and more importantly informative. If you need me, you know where to find me. Give me a call for a consultation and let's discuss your situation. I'm Derrick G. Hamlin, attorney extraordinaire, going to bat for you.